Hi guys, so I feel like I owe you a brief update on the progress of the Honda. We've made fair progress. I wouldn't say it's groundbreaking, but where we are at is the Honda Element is in the garage. I had my big helper right here. He helped me do the majority of the work because I needed some tiny fingers. Let me see your tiny fingers. I needed some tiny fingers to help me get this thing to where it's at. Front subframe is still in it. It is basically pulled down to where we are only held in by motor mount. So all the electrical is done, all the clutch lines are done, the axles are pulled out of it. Still debating on whether or not to pull out the AC power steering and alternator. I think that's probably going to have to come out in order to clear the core support. Judging by how wide this thing is, I don't know how they go in. I'm assuming they go in at the factory through the bottom, but it looks like there is quite a bit of room to come up the top. So that's what we're going to try to do. And since the last time you saw me, DSM is in the corner. We have got all these parts, whatever. But Hassport kit is here for the EG. Everything looks good on that. I kind of mocked it up just in the chassis to see what was going to fit, what wasn't going to fit. And the realization is that the driver's side engine mount right here is going to have to come off. Or it doesn't have to, but it just looks tacky if it's sitting there. So what we're going to do is mount it off the frame rail, remove that mount. There are bolts in the passenger side frame rail that have where the original transmission goes, 4 bolts here. I'm going to try to build a plate that bolts here, goes over the top, slides down, and has an engine mount over here, wherever it may be, that bolts to the CRV/Element engine mount next to the cylinder head. This side, once this is cleared off, same thing. We're gonna build a plate. I think that there's some bolt holes on this side. I don't exactly know where it is, but well, maybe not. There are no bolt holes, but we will probably fabricate a plate, either drill through the frame and sandwich plate it, or put something in there to squish the frame rail to where it mates up. This is the my garage is too small. So, anyways, this is the DSM front. The front cradle. Looking at this more and more, what I've realized is that the 2 under engine mounts are probably going to have to go. Put a lot of thought into this, I guess, and what I'm realizing is that even on Hondas, they don't have this, right? They don't have these 2. They actually don't have a front beam. They mount off the rear and they mount off the frame rail on both sides, so I think we're okay with that. I might try to use the front beam, get rid of the motor mount here, and actually put another motor mount on this side with the tabs that I got to build some sort of mount for the front of it. I'm not real sure if it's going to need it or not, but I'd rather almost have the support in the front and not need it than need it and not have it. So garage is full of Element parts. Axles are out. I don't know if I mentioned that, but these are the tabs that I bought online. I got 8 tabs. They are actually made for a rear differential or a rear axle for a straight axle vehicle. It is a 1/2 inch bolt hole. I plan to mount these at an angle. They fit the Hassport bolt in the mount here, and then either cut, notch around the frame, and then build some sort of maybe flat plate that connects to the other one that bolts into the frame rail. So that's the goal. That's what we got. It's not a whole lot. We haven't made a whole lot of progress, but here we are. There's the old lady. What do you think about this? Not thrilled. Anyways, so now we have 2 cars that don't run in the garage as opposed to just 1. So anyways, that's the update on the car. Hopefully we can get this engine out on the ground this evening, and then we will worry about trying to put the Element back together. And then it needs to be rolling and look like an Element before it goes in my driveway, and then I'll probably try to sell it or get rid of it or whatever I need to do. I'm not really planning on recovering a whole lot of money out of this thing, but I do need to get it out of my shop, my garage. So that's the goal. Then we've got to pull, before it goes, we got to pull drive shaft, differential, axle out of the back. So that's next step after we get on the ground. And then I don't know if I'm going to save the harness because the harness is kind of junk on this thing. It has been wrecked at some point in time. You can see this is kind of all jacked up. I had no front bumper support or anything like that. It's actually been up pretty good. Not real bad, but it is bent there. It has been in a collision, so I don't really feel too bad about cutting it up. I know all the Honda Element guys are really upset about me cutting up or getting rid of a all-wheel drive 5-speed Honda Element, but this is one likely not a car that should be on the road again, and I feel not too bad about getting rid of it. So that's it. here we are. I guess if you like the content, like and subscribe. And I guess if not, just keep on your way. But I appreciate you guys watching me and what I'm doing. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are pissed off in the DSM community. There's a lot of people that are upset in the Honda Element community. But I think this is still for the greater good of getting that car back on the road. So that's what we're going to continue to do. And it is what it is. I'm building this car for me, not anybody else. And I think that that's all that matters. So appreciate you guys watching and stay tuned.